we're back at Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass. So I couldn't find anything in mute notes at the moment. I suspect Ludwig might have it, but it's a little too early to get it, perhaps. So right here is the phone that I called in the last video, and it's not too pretty. That looks more like an exclamation point, or a question mark than a phone. So as a small consolation, we will go ahead and take the light bulb. And there's still loot to be had here. I don't know if it was stuff I could have gotten sooner, because this was a pretty rough place if I remember correctly. There's 4 treasure chests to be had here, which is probably part of the creepy set and stuff like that that I still need. So that's the way in. Got that one. Sadly, you can't examine the box and see what exactly you got out of them. You have to kind of guess. Okay, so here's the starting point. Didn't mean to get into a fight there, but we'll start carting this along and see what happens. Okay, so that's an easy one that I missed. Next encounter is going to be asleep when we get the rusty hook. Might be decent for Jimmy. Here I know I was using the wormwood stick. I never found out what I'm supposed to do here. I've seen one of these in Calm Valley. Yeah, I never found a use for Punch's ability yet, so yeah, I don't know what's going on. We'll go Squawker for a little while. Let's goon it up a bit. So I'm kind of curious what's going to happen if I drag this over there. If anything. Leave that one there and see if we can see somewhere else that might have something for a skull. Making sure that I got everything while I was here, so that's part of the future set. Because those cracks make me think the blob would squeeze through. It's gonna suck when I'm supposed to have the 8th form. The Fable 8th form, that is. Oh, we can't move Mr. Marvelous's head thing. So yeah, I wonder skulls. I'm going to start dragging these around. It might take a little while, so I'm going to put a break in the video. See you in a sec. Okay, so I drag the skulls around to plug the other holes, then you ignite this and it blows. So that gave us the slaughter table. Probably the single best thing I could have gotten here. So we're going to go back to goon form, we have to drag that one over here. Then we're going to blast that one next. Unless that's already good enough, so I'm curious. We'll give it a shot. Not quite there. It sucks. This takes... It's a pretty good distance to transport this. So I'm wondering if there are going to be 3 boxes in there for me, because there's only 1 there, and there were a total of 4 when I came in. And I guess you might actually be able to move these around while you're here the first time, because you'll have the fountain to heal off of. So you can see it's much bigger than normal. Only 1. Got the Bucket of Stink soundtrack. And I'm gonna look around and see what else I can blow up here. And just to verify, there should be 2 boxes left. Okay, so in the middle of this tunnel, there's an invisible wall. It's not quite an old school RPG with one of those, right? So if we go down to the bottom of here, we have yet another hand. Let's go up. We'll go down later. Leave me alone, like you know any better. What do you want me to do? What can I do? I'm gonna push ups. Yeah, go ahead and sit on. Not like much weight. So if only Buck were here to really appreciate his dungeon. Jeez, these holes are getting bigger. Luckily you can't fall in, it's just you still have to go around them. And you have to go around them on your way back too, which sucks. How damn big is this place? Working out. Not gonna stay all day, like you. I'm hoping both boxes are down here because I just want to warp out instead of walking back through this. And stuff like that makes me very tempted to go get the bubble. Let me hold strong enough too. Screaming Face, which is part of the spooky set. So yeah, I missed one of the boxes back here. I probably should just do a fight for the double EXP. It's not gonna come close, but hey, let's do it. We'll do a thermal bomb just in case. And the cloud of smoke goes up in a cloud of smoke. So that was worth a little bit more than normal. So... there's one area that comes to mind that I didn't really get to explore, which is near the beginning, sadly. Over here is the exit. What? Verify that. Yeah, that is a dead end, so this is the way I came from. Nothing over there. Nothing over here. Really hoping there isn't another invisible wall. Okay, that's the part where Buck was doing the push-ups with Jimmy on his back. So I didn't really mean to get into that fight. We get the monster teeth. Hoping these are worth a freaking headache. Trinket. Attack plus 10%. So, let's see. Monster teeth. Nice thing about it is it does boost your defenses a little bit. I'm not entirely sure, but I think the Dragon Fang gives you some crit rate too. But yeah, I'm just gonna warp out of here using Mr. Marvelous, and I will just fly back. So we'll pick up somewhere else over there in Bloodmarsh area. So in Ashby's, there was a rad ghost here that I shook. I don't know where he went. I'm gonna start shaking things and see if something falls out. Apologize for the food, yada yada. So let's see if anything happens if we talk to him. So the rad ghost is gone, which I think unlocks something. Because there's one thing that still has to be found here. So that was just step 1, marking that, so guys have a frame of reference. Okay, after finding my way through Jonathan's little playtime forest, this is directly north of where you fight him. This is the missing toy box, which is the Iron Maiden, which is a very important set piece if you want to try to get all the sets. So to show you, that's part of the creepy set, I think it's called. Spooky. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're missing one more, but the Iron Maiden's the 5th piece. So with that clears out this area, so I'll hop over to the bear. It would have been faster the other way. Nothing. We're good to go. Okay, so with the rest of the Bloody Marsh here, is that even what they call this place? I don't really know. The only thing left for us to do is go into Jonathonland, which is probably going to be the Nexus for Jonathon. Now, due to Jonathan's nature, I imagine this is probably going to be more about Jimmy, since Jonathan's his whole conscience projected. I don't know which form I want to walk around in just yet. I'm leaning towards vampire. Sad part is business savvy is really lame. Like, I think I may need the dark ritual at some point, and then once I have vampire done, I'm probably going to be in punched Tanaka form unless I need the puzzles. Now that I think about it, there's something I need to steal here, isn't there? The Night Guardian is freaking quick, dude. He is faster than Jimmy. And I'm talking level 71 Jimmy. I actually meant to take that fight. The Bogworm does not have the set piece we're looking for. Jeff in the Bag does not have it either, but that's an annoying enemy. It's really, really durable. Even with as strong as Andrew hits. Jeff in the Bags again. So the enemies here hit really damn hard. And unfortunately they're kind of durable too, just because if I had a good magic stat with a Jimmy, I could look into using magic here. It's just, I don't. That's odd. So real quick I'm going bear form. It's actually faster this way, yeah. 1, 2. There's still one creepy piece I'm missing, or okay, according to the wiki for Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass, there actually is nothing to steal here. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that. There's the guillotine, the missing piece. So while the EXP is nice here, I'm gonna cut down on some of these fights so that I can get more than a few steps without having to splice this together. Just need one more level. So I guess that's just there to mess with you. We'll go forward. If we run into... well, if we complete this without finding that last box, I'll just come back like I did for Rainbow Park. And that was that stupid Fop King that I really didn't want to fight. Not sure if I'm going to end up showing those, because I might miss them due to their brief size, but I just run away from the thing. They give money, and at this stage, money's not... The other thing I run away from are the rad ghosts. They're not worth it either, even though they're the opposite of the fob. They give a crapload of EXP. And those are the only two enemies I've run into here so far. Ah. Something emerges from the mirror. That was a fop, which freaking sucks. So examine the mirrors, this is important. You see a writhing mass of black clouds glinting fangs. Brushes off some dirt from his jacket, so this is the one we're looking for. All the other ones are traps. If you examine them in vampire form, they jump out at you. So this could be a good place to train the vampire, if not for its sucking, you know? Once upon a time, there was a bear. He was a fuzzy, huggable little thing filled with soft cotton stuffing. He looked just like the world-famous Jonathon bear. He lived on a shelf in a department store surrounded by other bears that looked just like him. Every day, children would look at the shelves and take as friends, but they never picked him. More bears were added every week, and he was pushed to the back, nestled behind fresher, newer, better versions of himself. The new bears would talk when you hugged them. Their fur was a softer, finer fabric. They had real velvet pads on their feet. Tickle their noses and they would laugh. He had none of those things. His fur was coarse by comparison. His feet were some sad nylon blend. He couldn't laugh or talk no matter what you did. One day, something changed for that bear. There was a boy looking at him. The boy wasn't looking at the other bears at all. He was looking right at him. In the boy's eyes, the bear could see all of the things that made him special. His fur might have been coarse, but it was a little bit longer, just like Jonathon's. The pads on his feet might not have been velvet, but they were just the right shade of brown. He couldn't laugh when you tickled his nose, but everyone knew Jonathon was ticklish on his feet. He didn't talk when you hugged him, but he also didn't have a hard plastic battery compartment and speaker inside. A hug felt like a real hug from Jonathon himself. But the boy had a mother, and the mother had seen his price tag and shook her head. There were tears in the boy's eyes, and the bear wanted to cry too, but he wasn't made with tears. Later, the boy returned. The bear wanted to jump and dance, but he wasn't made with muscles. The boy looked up and down the aisle. He fidgeted. He chewed his lip. Then he snatched the bear and stuffed him in his shirt. The boy ran. He ran and ran and ran. He ran all the way out of the store and into his mother's car. The bear had never been happier. He played with the boy every day. They made a fort from bed sheets and couch cushions. They watched Jonathon bear together every day. One time, he defended a kingdom from a squad of plastic army men. Another time, he had to fly off a ceiling fan. Once, he hugged the boy for an hour before the boy stopped crying. Every night, the boy made room for him on his pillow. But things started changing. The boy played with the bear less and less. Sometimes the bear would just sit on the bed for days. Eventually, the boy started to leave him under the bed at night, next to the dust bunnies and forgotten toys. One day, the boy picked up the bear, and the bear looked into his eyes. He no longer saw love in the boy's eyes. He saw guilt and shame. The boy placed the bear into his closet, behind a pile of old clothes, back where he could never see him. And the bear sat there for months and months, in that dark, sad, lonely place. Oh dear. We really did a number on him, didn't we? It was more Buck, I'd say. Maybe you weren't a bad bear after all. Maybe you were a good bear that did some very bad things. Jimmy, what you did was wrong. If you just would have waited for Christmas, I would have bought him for you, and you would have never felt bad about owning him. But now, well, I'm just glad that you're sorry for what you did.
I love you, sweetie. After everything that's happened, if a stuffed bear would make you happy, I would buy as many as you wanted. I would fill your room with them if I could. I'm sorry. That kind of talk is silly now. Just keep doing your best, honey. I'll be right here with you. Jimmy feels a cold, gloomy energy oozing from the orb. Jimmy hears the clack-clack of his mother's heels on the linoleum. He can feel a presence behind her, watching, always watching. Every day, the same feeling, the same eyes. A trembling, spidery feeling tickles up Jimmy's back. The sound of his mother's pacing has stopped. Look at you, she says. You've gotten so dusty. Her hands beat on fabric, and for once Jimmy can't feel the gaze anymore. She coughs. She tries to clear her throat, but she just coughs more. She coughs and coughs and coughs. Soon the coughing has changed into deep, heavy sobs. Has it... Her sobs catch the words from her throat. Has it been so long? And with that, we are done with Grim Echoes. We've done everything there is to be had here. Or wait, did we miss one box? Let me double check. So now that I think about it, we didn't get any music here. Yeah. So I'm going to cut over to there. See you guys in a second. Okay, so back by the dumpster. There's a way to put it in there yet. So let's see. This one might be able to knock it in. Nope. Maybe Punch can punch it in? At least I'm assuming this is supposed to be the dumpster. It could be the door over there that I'm supposed to do this for all I know. Okay, let's try just popping it while this is open. Try it on the pizza thing, otherwise I'm gonna have to drag this bomb all over the freaking place. The Apocalypse Jacket. So actually, let's look at it here. So it gives you attack and defenses, leather jacket with bird skulls, and what appears to be part of a steering wheel. So he loses on some magic defense, but gains physical defense and attack power. Compared if we give this to Jimmy. Ooh, crud, no, get that off. That may have screwed up my whole setup. Knife cannon. That's fine. So yeah, you get a little bit more power, but you lose out on some agility and other stuff. I think I'd rather keep him as is, to be honest. That crit rate is kind of what I like about it, so we're gonna give this to Lars. And with that, folks, we are done with the Grim Echoes. So, guess the dumpster's just there to mess with you, I don't know. That's it for now. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.